You're watching Hellbent Holler live.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. We want to welcome you to our Monday night show that we do at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. This is kind of an informal hangout that we have with all of our viewers and our friends, and we talk shop. We talk Dogman, Sasquatch, the paranormal, all kinds of cool and freaky stuff, because that's what we like to do. We are so glad to have you guys all here with us today. We've got a few new faces in the chat, but we wanted to welcome everybody in, and we'll get started with the show. How's that sound?
Pretty good. Michael's mom's watching.
Well, welcome to Michael's mother.
So
she was watching our live last night that we did. We were working on the kind of setting up the mobile situation. We'll talk a little bit about that. I don't know if I introduced myself. My name is Jesse. This is my co-jost. I was waiting for that one. Did you? Co-jost. This is Joe. But yeah, we are. We've got a lot going on, and we've been doing some lives over the past couple of days for the members, setting up some really cool new features that we're going to have on the channel. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and yeah. So I know. If you guys are members, you know that we've done a couple of lives over the past couple of days. We got our Starlink unit. So we're going to actually be able to do lives from the field, from anywhere in the country. It's been a little trial and error over the past couple of days to try to set it up and get it working, get some logistics worked out on it. But I think we've got it all hammered out. Go with Joe.
We think we have it hammered out.
We think we have it hammered out.
These things are made to use like in campgrounds or on the tops of like RV units.
Yep.
Not out of a backpack with whatever else we can carry and then just kind of hastily assemble it in the middle of nowhere. But we had a couple of tests. The first one was rough. The second one went pretty damn well.
Yeah.
We were out all night long Saturday night running tests on it. Kind of got a few hours sleep, ran back home, picked up some spare parts, cobbled something together, and then went live again last night for just a little while.
Yeah.
And that test went extremely well.
Yeah. So we're super stoked. So it looks like we are on on the path to doing our first super remote live on
Yep.
Saturday, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. So it looks like that we will be doing our first super remote live investigation on Saturday from a location that has 0 cell signal and we've never been able to go live from ever before. So we'll be doing a live investigation for members on Saturday. We're really excited to actually just take it out there and see what the thing can do, see what we can do with it.
Yep.
It's going to be really, really cool. And other news, what we're working on right now, what I'm working on my contact project right now. I discussed this a couple of weeks ago that I was going to go through these ways of contacting the other. You may think of this as maybe spirits, aliens, whatever. We're just going to give the other a blanket term, the other. There are different methods in which people through the ages have contacted these entities, have spoken to the other side. And I'm working on compiling a master list of all of these ways in which people make contact. And these are called contact modalities. I'm making a master list of this and I'm going through and I'm learning how to do pretty much all of them.
Yep.
And I'm going to experiment with doing each of these contact modalities and even combining some of these contact modalities with the ultimate goal of making contact with the other and being consistent with that contact. So that's the goal there. So we're going to be running some experiments on some of our live investigations that we do from these remote areas. We're going to be doing contact experiments, and that's an ongoing project that we're working on. Examples of contact modalities include dowsing, doing the Estes method, which we've done before on the channel. We did that in that cemetery on that mountaintop where I was blindfolded. I had the noise canceling headphones on and Joe was asking questions. And it seems like us doing that stirred something up in the physical environment around us as well. Because in that video, I didn't hear it because I had the noise canceling headphones on, but in that video, I heard Joe heard, what did you hear? Like screaming,
howling.
I didn't get to hear it until I was
What
editing
sounded
the
like
video.
kids laughing, just like the whole thing was just me just going, this is like absolutely crazy. And I'm checking out the thermal, didn't see anything. I was just looking, somebody said the sound is coming out. Can you guys give us a sound check here to see how the sound is?
You should have stopped me.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Okay.
You guys let us know if the sound comes up okay. I hate doing a sound check at the beginning of it.
I know.
So that every episode is just us going,
can you hear us?
Can you hear us? But let us know right now if you can hear us and how the sound is.
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me, Spooktator. All right, cool.
Cool. We'll go with a little
So
Spooktator.
there we go.
But
Sheila says sound is weird.
Sound is weird.
You
Joe is going to check the sound. I'm not going to say anything important right now because he's checking the sound.
You're going to hear probably some beats.
You're also going to see our settings on our camera come up there.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. See if that helps. Everybody says it sounds perfect. Sheila says it sounds weird. Everybody else says it sounds good. The picture's a little weird to me too. It's like super zoomed in for some reason. I don't know.
Here. Whoa, there we go.
I think, is that normal? That's normal, I think.
That's normal.
That's normal. All right.
Normal.
This is our first day on the job, guys. You know.
Ask me how that sounds.
How does that sound? Much better. Cryptid Castberry says it's much better. MK Ultra at 739 said echoey but listenable. We don't want that. We don't want that. Need to foam the room. I have all kinds of stuff in this room to absorb sound, so I don't know. Sounds like an ambient mic, not direct. It sounds good there. Sounds like an ambient mic, not direct. I think it sounds good on that, don't you? Who knew?
Keep going.
I'm gonna keep going. All right.
Keep going.
Well, I guess I'll say something important. So I'm working on this contact modalities project right now. And I actually had a really, really good result today combining, I see your entire shoulder.
Sorry, that's
okay.
already getting frustrated. Anyway.
It's okay.
All right.
Just abandon ship.
Abandon ship.
I combined a couple of contact modalities today, and I actually got an image, which is really freaking cool. So I was coming along on that project. I feel like that project is going to take me a few years, and eventually I'm going to write a book on my experiences doing this and my findings doing this. So I'm really, really excited.
Couple quick things. Thank you for that, Curtis. We greatly appreciate
Curtis.
it. Curtis, we had a slew here at the beginning of the show.
Kim said I look good in every hat I wear. I sacrificed a hat to the investigation gods this weekend.
Yeah, we lost a hat.
We lost a hat.
We lost a hat. So.
Moment of silence for my little hat.
And I thought I was another one in there that I missed. And then Centurion, thank you. We greatly appreciate that. Your intro music is better than WWE wrestling.
Oh, nice.
So
That's
there
what
you
I
go.
like to hear. Yeah. Thank you. That's really cool. Pyromedic said, Dooster, make them a device for that. I have Dooster working on a very special project for me right now. So I've already jumped on the hiring Dooster for working on this project. And it's an ambitious project at that. So we'll see what happens with that. It's a lot of scary stuff with some of these contact modalities because it involves zapping my brain.
So contact modalities, what Jesse's talking about is that we're looking into ways to go beyond just stumble around in the dark hoping we run into anything.
Yeah.
We toyed around with this a little bit with that beacon project that we were working on, which is still kind of going into its next evolution. But the whole goal of this is pretty much every tradition, religion out there has structured ways for their adherents to make contact with the other stuff out there. And what we are doing is there seems to be just constant threads that run through all of these different ways of contact that seem to pop up again and again and again. Meditation, the modern CE5, the way you make contact with like UFOs and draw UFOs in. Some of them are a little extreme. People able to do it after near-death experiences. We're going to try to shy away from that as much as we can. We'll leave that one on the table. But the rest of them, there's other ways of.
I think I also want to avoid. I know it's part of it too, but I want to also avoid like the psychonaut stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I'm really interested in that side of things. Somebody said it sounds good when I'm close to the mic. I'll just lean in today. But I want to avoid the psychonaut stuff. Experimenting with illegal substances. I think we're going to avoid that for this project. Yeah. There's over 80 contact modalities on my list right now. So I've got a lot of material to pull from. So, and I'm actually including some stuff that I've never heard people really mention before in there. And I experimented with combining two today. And I actually got a result. So that was a successful experiment today. And we're very early on in the project.
So you usually hear people talking about doing this sort of stuff with UFOs, with CE5. To a certain extent in the paranormal community, especially the people that kind of involve psychic mediums and everything like that. You don't usually hear about this deep into the woods, trying to get the physical stuff on the ground to kind of show itself or interact at all. And that's what we're kind of moving this towards, is trying to use some of these processes that other types of investigators use and then kind of like gear them towards what we do. They're using CE5 to call in the lights in the sky. Let's see if we can use that to call in these balls of light, these orbs that people see in the woods, to see if we can get them to kind of become more interactive. And then
people use, if you think about ghost hunters go into a house, they'll use some of these contact modalities to make contact with the spirits of the deceased or something that's in a loop, perhaps. Yeah. Or as you may think, not the deceased, whatever that may mean. Yeah. They use these contact modalities to make contact with them. So what happens when we go out into an area like a forest and use the same contact modalities that are used in these ghost hunts that are done inside four walls? What are we going to get in touch with? What are we going to make contact with in those environments as opposed to somewhere where people lived and where people lived their lives and made that imprint in that house. What made that imprint, or what is currently making an imprint on the environment in these forests? I think that's one of our questions we want to kind of toy with asking.
Real quick, thank you for that, April Black. And then Lichen Claw.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Get some new microphones with that Lichen Claw. Thank you, sir.
That's probably what we need to do. I hate these microphones.
That's on the if we would stop trying to do crazy equipment experiments, then I could get the basics, but it's constantly oh, we need,
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to bring up that came up, the chat's on fire tonight. We ought to just sit here in silence and just let the chat go. But you had said we're not going to mess around with illegal substances. Nutslap says that's exactly what you would say if you were going to experiment with illegal substances. So there you go.
I think those days are behind us. Huh?
Yeah. But it's the reason why we're focused on this so much, and people are kind of going, a couple people have just been like, we just want you to go out and look for Dogman. What the hell with all this weird stuff? A, have you met us? B, I've really been paying attention to the news a lot lately, and except for this weekend, we got back and had to catch up on the news because we were so focused on just trying to get a steady signal out. But there's just so much stuff going on in the news right now, and you can't look at what's coming out, at least on the UFO, the UAP front, and not realize that things are accelerating.
Yeah.
Both the discussion around these topics, the attention that's being paid to these topics, but then the activity itself is accelerating. It's picking up. And I think now is the time to try to take more of an active hand and not just walk around and hope we find sign of Bigfoot or go into an area where we had a report. Let's go in there and let's try to push some buttons and see what happens at this point. Even if you don't make contact, maybe we can do something to catch its attention. And when I say it, I mean the phenomenon, the phenomena, whatever if it's one big overarching thing or multiple smaller different types of weirdness out there. Let's see if we can do something to try to stimulate something, make something curious, piss something off, and then the result would be get some footage of it, and show it to the world at that point. So,
yeah. We have various complaints about our stream.
What's that now?
I don't know if it's on our end. I'm gonna be honest with you because of it's varied with this. So, but yeah, we're just really excited to do this. I don't know if you guys remember the beacon experiment we did. We did that on Equinox this past year, and we had a couple of experiments we did with the beacon, and that was that unit. You'd be better at talking about the unit that you built for that, because that was just a piece of equipment that we could carry around that would actually do something to cause anything in the environment that may be supernatural to pay attention to it, to draw it in, possibly give it energy or just get its attention.
Yeah. The whole thing was we were experiencing equipment drain and battery, equipment malfunctions and battery drain in areas where we were experiencing weird activity. And it wasn't just paranormal activity. We'd go into areas that had reports of Dogman, reports of Bigfoot, and we would go in there and our batteries would drain. It happened really bad at the LBL, Station 16. So we figured, okay, whatever this is trying to gather energy for some reason. So let's give them a bunch of energy. So we had a series of 4 electromagnetic pumps built that we could run 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of them at the side. I think our internet's spotty with this storm. We might end up dropping signal tonight, guys. If it just goes black.
It's not fuzzy when I'm looking at the stream, but we might go in and out because we have a insane storm.
We're watching the trees whip out here right now. So, but so the idea was whatever this is wants energy. Let's give it energy. Let's pump out more like a huge electromagnetic field. Even if it's not strengthening something, maybe it'll grab something's attention. So
that's what we sought to do when we went to the LBL and we did the werewolf experiments. We wanted to do something novel to the environment that would get the attention of whatever's out there. That's why we
Mhm.
brought out the wolf lure. That's why we brought out the Sasquatch pheromone chips.
Mhm.
We set that out there because that was the goal. Is we want to get whatever's out there. We want to get its attention.
Yeah.
A lot of people suggest to us that we just go out into these environments and we hide ourselves. We sit silently. We dig a hole. There's a lot of suggestions.
Bury yourself in the hole and look at a small
bury yourself in
thing.
the hole,
And I'm
but
just going, I don't think you can sneak up on
I think
these.
if you're in, this is their environment. This is where they exist. We don't know the extent of their capabilities. We don't know the extent of their abilities. Sometimes it seems like whatever these things are one with their environment. You're not going to be able to just walk in there and dig a hole and get into it, and then it'd be like, oh, where did he go? I think someone suggested at one point that we set up a fake camp. How do we know that whatever's out there isn't just watching us set up a fake
Well, the
camp,
other thing too is that the suggestion we always get is to set up a fake camp with mannequins.
The mannequin camp. I
The
forgot about the
mannequin camp.
mannequins.
Yeah,
Yes.
a fake camp with mannequins.
Mannequin camp out.
Put some bacon on to fry and then go hide in the bushes. And I'm
Yeah.
going, I think that if whatever's out there could be fooled that easily,
We would be a lot further along.
we'd be a lot further
Yeah.
along than what we are. But
And then who's going to flip the bacon?
that bacon's just going to
If
burn.
I'm-
Nobody wants
If
burned
I'm
bacon.
in the bush, who's flipping
Yeah.
the bacon?
But so we tried to kind of stimulate contact with equipment. And we tried to stimulate contact using the electromagnetic spectrum.
Yeah.
The beacon, the final version of the beacon that we were using was 4 electromagnetic generators, EM pumps, basically, putting out a really strong electromagnetic field. And then we had 2 signal generators that were emitting that 1.6 gigahertz signal that we have found, people at Skinwalker Ranch have found, Joe and Ron with Wild and Weird West Virginia have come across it in areas of high strangeness. So we were going, all right, well, let's pump that out there. We're picking it up. Let's pump it out and see what happens. And then the other thing too is that there's always that trope that these things can see in infrared. And that's why game cams don't work. Biologically, that should be impossible. I always talk about how warm-blooded creatures can't really see in infrared, but these things can seem to detect infrared somehow. So we had infrared beacons going out that were invisible naked eye, but they were really bright and flashing on the infrared spectrum.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of that was just to make something curious or piss something off and hopefully get it to come in so that we could film it. We could get some sort of documentation of it. And every time we've used it, something has happened. Usually something minor, but it's something weird. We've had cameras malfunction around it. They test fine at home, but we have left cameras kind of on the beacon before and then gone off.
And it just...
Well, one of them, if you remember right, it sounded like something moved up behind it and turned it off. I thought the camera was broken.
But it was on a small tripod. So if something big came up, it would have to, know what button to press, which half the time on that particular camera, I don't know what button to press. But you'd have to know what button to press. And then it would have to be able to press this button and not jostle it.
Camera didn't move, but
it just literally just went.
We heard something come up behind it. And I was even going, is there a person up there? I mean, these are not like GoPros. These are pretty specialized cameras. You kind of got to know what button to hit, but it sounded like something moving and then the camera just goes dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we reviewed it, I'm like, the camera's off. Like, what the heck? Had power. Memory card was fine. It started up again, started filming again. Sounded like something turned it off.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to the audio recorders that we put out there before, except for those, we didn't hear anybody come up to him. We didn't hear anything come up to him. They just went off. So thank you for that pork chop.
Thank you, pork chop.
Fusion mixed drinks for Halloween called Hell Blenders. We leave so many marketing opportunities on the table, man. So many marketing opportunities on the table. Thank you for that. Like a claw.
Like a claw.
MVP
Back
tonight.
again.
Cryptids are becoming more invasive. Anecdotally, that is true. The amount of
aggressive reports are with things really just coming into people's space,
and acting ticked off is like it's kind of overwhelming. I mean, it's
Now, could
overwhelming.
part of that be that people are encroaching on these environments? You know, that we've seen that there's been a increase in, mountain lions, bear, coyotes entering into residential areas because of the overdevelopment of a lot of these areas.
Yeah,
Do you think that could be a factor in there?
Oh, here's the deal. I mean, that means that whatever this has a habitat.
Right.
Okay. When something has a habitat like that and development encroaches on it and it can't go anywhere else because it's born and bred to that particular environment to stay in. These things might have an environment, they might have a habitat. We all know that there's like window areas where these things seem to be more prevalent. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that happens to a certain extent. I just think that like the veil is thinning or something like that, man.
And we
it's
say
just
that
weird.
to the point, we say that so often and it's mentioned so many times that it's almost become a trope, but you have to express what you're seeing. You have to call it what it is. And it seems like more and more people are realizing that's the case.
Yeah. So a couple quick things here. And we're just going to be free flowing tonight, guys. We didn't come with like a developed topic like we did last week because we've been too damn busy out in the woods running this mobile data connection.
Learning how to be satellite technicians, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. So LW, our boy LW Marshall. If you guys have not checked out his latest podcast, and LW, if you're still there, throw a link in the chat.
Paranormal Palaver.
He interviews the Dooster. So he's interviewed Micah Hanks, us, and now the Dooster. So check that out. Along the lines of battery drain, have y'all ever experienced sudden physical fatigue, like something draining your energy? Me, no. Her, yes.
Yeah.
Like she's had legit, like just
psychological effects.
Just weird psychological effects.
Yeah.
Weird. You can like literally just see her kind of start to wilt almost. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine. It doesn't affect me like that.
There's been instances, and I believe during the equinox experiment, where you looked at me and you were like, "That's not you." You were like, "You don't look like yourself. Something is not right here." And I don't want to say that I don't want to use the term empath. I guess you could say that, but I'm actively trying to open myself up to these experiences, and I think that I have a predisposition already, and then I'm trying to accentuate that and really push that. And now I'm really trying to push that.
Now you're really trying to push it. But and April Black, have y'all ever experienced severe headaches after these power drains? She has. Again, I haven't. I'm like dull. I'm not really like
Dullman's Club.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really in tune with this stuff. Like, I think I'm good at other stuff, but I don't really have I'm not in tune with it. I just don't know. I'm not. There are certain people that seem to like attract to this weirdness, this high strangeness. Jesse's one of them. I've never had anything weird happen. Only weird thing I've ever had happen solo is when I did that live stream solo from the Grove that night.
Yeah.
And that was stuff I was hearing in the distance. And then something seemed to follow me out because I was hearing like big limbs break.
I guess you can put that in the realm of like a physical phenomenon going on.
Yes.
You have voices going on. It's not like a psychological or emotional or any kind of effect like that. It's more of a, would you say like those are hard effects, not soft effects.
Yeah, they're not. It's just I was hearing something in the distance.
Yeah.
So, but I don't have activity when I'm not with her. So, yeah, I don't. But yeah, she's had physical effects from this stuff. So, what else we got here?
I've got a few things on there.
Rick's got. Thank you for that. For the new name for it, the Juju Energy and Generator. The Juju Energy.
Choo-choo energy.
All right. You always watch like stuff like, or you read books like those occult detective books.
Yeah.
Like Hellboy and stuff like that, where they just have like a hodgepodge of stuff, like I'm gonna use these.
Tricks.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just they've got something that's just got like all of these weird things in it. Like, I've got something that's got like a fragment of the Shroud of Turin. Some of the True Cross.
Oh, okay. So trigger objects.
Saint so-and-so's toe bone, but it's all like hodgepodge together. You know what I'm saying? Like they just mixed it in like a big vat.
Hey, I can get you a toe bone. I got a guy.
I got a toe bone guy.
You want a toe bone? I'll get you a toe bone.
But the Juju Energy Generator is the whole idea of that. Let's just put a bunch of different things that seem to have associations with this high strangeness together and then run it all at once, man. Throw everything at it, see what works. So, and then along with that, Tammy Hardcastle, this concept you're going to use might help to get a sighting. Along with all of us with your energy, it might make it stronger.
Yeah.
That's the idea of trying to live stream from these active locations, because it's still just going to physically be two people on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The larger the group on the ground, the less chance you have of getting activity. That's always held true with us. You know what I'm saying? That's always held true.
Yeah.
With us.
I mean, I've never heard of an instance where you have a group of 20 people out there just babbling, running out into an open field with a bunch of, weapons and just running around crazy, and then something actually happening, you know?
But we'll have two people on the ground, but then we're going to have people all around the world watching and sharing in with attention and focus, mental energy being paid to it. And let's see, that's got to strengthen it.
See if that collective consciousness can feed into manifesting whatever this is. So I'm super excited. I think, we talked about, I guess we talked about at the beginning of the year, the theme of this year is super science and sorcery.
Yeah, exactly. So.
And I think that we're actually kind of getting into there. We've got a satellite uplink. At the same time, I'm trying to make contact with the other. I think it's like we're on track, I think.
Honey Blue McGee's got something good. I'm still wondering about that theory that the trickster doesn't drain energy to manifest, but drains it to keep from being seen. I think that a lot of this stuff, whether it is paranormal, like ghosts in your house or ghosts in the woods, Bigfoot, Dogman, UFO phenomenon, the Fae, a lot of it is very interactive, whether you realize it or not. And sometimes you may think that you're just an unwilling participant, but there's a certain level of interactivity to it. And I think that some of that interactivity is that it wants to show you, but it also wants to leave you frustrated. I mean, we've got stories just like anybody else who does this seriously. The people that really do this stuff all have stories of going, it happened right as I changed the batteries in my camera. The coolest audio we ever heard, you guys won't hear because we didn't catch it, because we took a break because we'd been going all night into the day, slept for a little while, had been going into the night. And finally we were like, we got to eat something. We hiked back to camp. We were just camped in the middle of the woods, and we had one crappy camera that we were down to like our last battery on. And I was like, all right, well, while we're here eating, I'm going to go ahead and start charging batteries, So I've got everything charging, and we heard a crazy wail. We heard like a banshee wail. Yeah. We thought it was like a siren, like an ambulance or something. It rose and fell. And then we're going, there's no way an ambulance is back in here. Get the camera. And I'm trying to get a battery that's got enough charge in it to get it in, because that's really all we had at that point. And we get the camera running and it just stops. And I'm going, it had to be watching us. It had to know, whatever it was, had to know what was going on. Otherwise, how would it just stop like that? But I think that happens. I think that it sometimes messes with you because it wants you to know that it's there, but it wants to frustrate you and not allow you to share it. That's why we run so many different types of stuff.
Yeah.
Because I do think it gives glimpses of itself. And the whole goal is to entice it somehow into giving us more glimpses than what we would normally get. So.
Dead End was asking how the weather. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad out there. If the stream might go.
We'll see how it goes.
The internet
it's whipping like out there. Yeah. Julie Bug's in Western North Carolina, and she's telling us it's bad too. It's just right where we are too, right north of us. So I got some other stuff marked on there. I've been going through the chat there. I'm caught up on it. We can go into that.
Okay. We're gonna be free form tonight.
Free form, baby.
Free form.
Ghetto Yeti's here. All right. How'd your kids? How'd your wife?
How'd your daughters? So Centurion says he thinks that you're an antenna, not an empath. I do think that certain people kind of like shine real brightly to this stuff. I was talking to somebody.
I got to be bright in some capacity.
I was talking to somebody that we know. I haven't even had a chance to tell you this yet, but I was chatting with somebody that we know earlier, just trading a, hey, what's going on, buddy? How are you? And we were talking about stuff, and he just made a drop away comment about like, oh, I'd love to do something like that, but electronics don't do real well around me. And that's somebody who's,
Whoa.
yeah, who's involved in this subject. And I just went, you're touched by this stuff.
Yeah.
So some people, I think,
Interesting.
just burn, like they shine real bright to this stuff, to this, whatever this high strangeness is at this point.
And there's definitely signatures for people who can communicate and kind of connect with this. Right now, I'm reading Imminent, the Lou Elizondo's book that he just came out with, and he mentions Gary Nolan's work with UAPs and people who've experienced, UAPs. They've had like up close encounters with UFOs. And these strange lights, and it's people that are involved in the military, but there are physical effects to people having these experiences. And they look at these people, and it turns out that a lot of them, they don't know if this is an after effect or if this is something that was already established, but you'll have to say it, caudate putamen.
The caudate putamen.
Caudate putamen.
Yeah.
So there's two sections
and
of
the basal ganglia. So
it's two sections of your brain, the caudate and the putamen, but the connection between the two is very, very strong in these people who are able to make these contacts, or who have these experiences. Now, I've never had a brain scan, so I don't know what the putamen looks like here,
I don't know
what the caudate looks
if it's
like,
even
what the
there, for
putamen-
God's sakes, man. Heck, so
it's just a mouse just rolling around in there.
And Tammy says, could her reactions be because she's female? The entity is trying to subdue her. People do say that females do have more of a connection to this stuff, and stuff's more interactive with it. I don't know. I've got it again. I always say I've got a sample size of 1. When I trade Jesse in for that Russian mail order bride, we'll take Svetlana out and see if Svetlana has a similar kind of like response to the things out there. We'll see. I don't know. Stay tuned.
You think George Clooney's going to be looking by then?
So now Patty did say, I did see that lady in white in the cemetery.
Yeah.
And that ties in with the comment we just had up. I did see a feminine entity one time that Jesse did not see. But I was also in Jesse's presence. I don't know. I just stuff like that.
But I never saw her. I never had any sort of strange feeling. I was bobbing along normal, and you were terrified. You were terrified.
And I did have, when we were in the dark corner of North Georgia, we were in an area that
you did have a sort of a paranormal
weird. Yeah. And it's weird that I don't even think about that now. I have to always, something has to trigger that. I just don't remember it otherwise. And it's still going on to this day. Case in point right here. Very bizarre. We are in an area of the dark corner that's had a lot of Bigfoot sightings. And it's that area where we saw that tall thing watching us from the hilltop on the thermal. We found footprints there. Something jumped above us, tree to tree one night. Could have been a very agile raccoon. I don't know, but it was the thing I pushed Jesse and kind of run because something's right above us jumping in the tree branches. So
it makes it sound like you pushed me like in front of it and you took off.
Take the girl. Please don't hurt me. But we saw some weird eye shine that looked like it was pretty tall. We start moving towards it and it disappears. I don't think you put this in the video, did you? Because I asked you not to. I don't think you put that.
I don't think I did, because you were very sensitive about that.
So we're going towards this eye shine that I think you included in the video, but it like disappears. We don't see anything on thermal. We're like, what the hell? And I look to my right and I see 2 real faint glowing like little dots. And this all happens in like maybe 2 split seconds, And I see what looks like kind of like an outline of a body. Now, it could have just been my eyes playing tricks on me. You're often up for like a long period of time doing this. You're exhausted. Your mind is geared towards this stuff. So you always have to keep that in mind. But I look and I see 2 faint glowing little dots of light and then a real faint outline. It wasn't overly big, but maybe a little shorter than me. You know what I'm saying? So weird. And the outline of the body kind of like fades away gradually, but pretty quick. It's hard to describe. And then the eyes are like, if those what they were, gone. And I'm just like, what the hell? I mean, like, what the hell just happened? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? I'm really kind of freaked out about it, going, did I just see something like disappear? This is bizarre. Remember, I was really freaked out about it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I never talked about it
and you were very sensitive about it for a while, that you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't want me to mention it. Like, you didn't want to talk about it publicly, for sure.
But what's weird is that I totally forgot about it. It just went out of my mind. And it wasn't until we were back in that area. And I stop in that exact same spot.
You do
And
it
I
every
go,
time.
and I go, what the, wait, hold on. I saw that thing here. And you were going, yeah. And you were going, I was going, I completely forgot about that. How did I forget about that?
Yeah.
How is that possible? That weirded me out like you wouldn't believe. And I'm standing there and I got pretty upset because I'm going, it felt like something had reached in and erased that memory, that something had caused me to kind of forget that.
That's disturbing.
It was very disturbing, and it still disturbs me to this day. But what's weird is that I wasn't even thinking about it right now when somebody mentioned that about seeing that woman at the LBL. And then all of a sudden I just go, if I have an associative memory of it, I'll remember it.
Yeah.
But if a lot of times if people go, hey, have you ever seen anything weird? I'll go, I've seen a few things, but I never mentioned that. It's weird. It's either I have repressed that for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not until you bring it up or somebody brings up something that kind of reminds me of it. But it felt, I don't know. That was
Have you repressed it, or like you said, has something sort of like put up a wall?
And I know that you could say all your imagination's running wild with you. This is not something.
But that's also kind of scary, that something, that's kind of terrifying, that shows that you don't have full control over the situation. That if something can actually reach in and take that away from you, or block it in some kind of
all
way.
of the big experiencers and the big guns with the UAP phenomenon are saying basically the same thing. John Keel, Jacques Vallée, Whitley Strieber, all of them are going that your mind is a malleable thing to some of these forces. And that's what it felt like when I was standing there that second time, and I went, wait, hold on. This is exactly where I saw that thing. Why the hell did I forget about that thing? And what am I doing back here again? Why did I come back to the spot knowing how bad it freaked me out the first time?
Now, do you think that forgetting it, and then you return to the spot, and then you get to the spot, and then you had that boom, that big fear? Do you think that rush of fear is maybe a motivator for it or something? Do you think that it feeds off of that?
I mean,
there's a lot of, possibilities.
A lot of stuff going on there, man. A lot of stuff going on there. So, but yeah, it's just so weird. And I generally don't think about it until all of a sudden, like Patty mentioning the lady in white and the LBL. And then I go, oh, wait, I saw that other thing too that I can't seem to really keep to the forefront of my mind for some reason. Weird. So, Richard Sharp says, you ever take a few psychics out in areas where there's exceptional activity?
Multiple psychics are hard to come by.
I don't even know one psychic, to be honest with you. Jesse's starting to look into remote viewing protocols, and we're realizing how in-depth and complicated a lot of remote viewing is.
Yes.
And so I don't know any psychics. If I knew a legit psychic and we could slap a pack on them and take them in 10 miles on foot, and they'd be willing to do it at night in the woods, I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, but having finding multiples of that is going to be, impossible. It comes down to a logistics thing eventually.
Mark Willis said, finally caught alive. Love your channel. Welcome to the channel, Mark. I'll be in Tennessee next week, and we'll take a trip to the LBL. Did you say they don't allow firearms in the park? They do not allow firearms in the park.
You hit that right at the time he did a super chat to ask the same question. He'll be heading
to
from Washington State next week, going to the LBL for 3 days, and he had advice. He all said they don't allow firearms in the park. Cousin said he carries there. Let me know.
I will give you the
official response.
I'll give you just the bare bones thing about it is that it is a federal offense to be caught with firearms in the LBL. You can carry a gun to the shooting range there, but it has to be cased and unloaded, and you have to be on your way to the shooting range or on your way out of the LBL. You can't drive around the LBL officially with a firearm in your car and go, oh, I was at the shooting range earlier. They want that gun out of the park. This is a recreation center. It's not a national forest. It's a national recreation area.
And there are wildlife management areas, so you can go in there and hunt, but your caliber that you carry and everything has to be specific to what you're hunting.
Yeah.
Like you can't be, I don't know, squirrel hunting.
Take a 308 for squirrel hunting. So you can do that. And from what I understand, hunting season was one of the few times when you'd really see a lot of people there.
Yeah.
You'd really see a lot of game wardens from the surrounding areas, from the surrounding states coming in and like kind of monitoring that, because they do assist with that in there. People do carry firearms there. People carry firearms there. The only thing I would caution you on is that one person might do it and get away with it, and another person have trouble with it. They have.
One thing I'm concerned about is getting like cars searched. My cameras
They have
tossed.
They have searched people there before.
People that we know have been searched there.
And there is an increase of people on the ground. The LBL, right around the time that all this attention got put on the LBL, they all of a sudden found more money for the LBL.
Odd, isn't it?
The other thing too is there's a lot of attention on the LBL right now.
Yeah.
There's the Small Town Monsters documentaries that came out. There's a lot of people talking about the LBL.
Yep.
So you have to assume that the authorities there are aware of this.
That
especially if there's something that they're trying to cover up and hide there. They know what people are talking about.
Yeah.
There have been groups of people going to the LBL.
I get emails and messages. I want to say at least 3 a week of people asking me for places that they can take a paid group to do haunted campgrounds. They want haunted this. They want crazy places to go, locations to take big groups of people. And that is such a bad idea. Number one, it's illegal to take paid expeditions into public lands.
Unless you have a permit.
Unless you are permitted.
And they don't do permits in the LBL.
No. So you are doing something very illegal if you're doing that. So I don't contribute to that conversation.
But that is happening. So what we're trying to say is that there's a lot of people going into the LBL right now for the sole purpose of dogman hunting. There's people going visibly armed there, and they may not get caught, but that video ends up on the internet, and then I don't know. So all I would tell you is that do understand that if you do get caught, it's a federal offense. It's those are federal law enforcement basically that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
There. And there weren't a lot of them, but there's more now. Aaron Deese had found out that that there was a bill passed again right around the same time that all this stuff came public about it to get more money into it. So there has been more of an official presence there. You'd probably be okay. You know what I'm saying? You may go and leave out without running into anybody on an official basis. And knowing my luck, I'd get popped. So you have to, are you a lucky person?
Well, you and I don't really blend in very well. I think that's part of our problem too.
So thank you for that. But
Kim Drescher said that I think the LBL stuff will die down.
It will, but right now there's a lot of
heat.
There's a lot of activity in the LBL, and that's from a people aspect of it. There's a lot of activity of people looking for non-people activity down there, if that makes sense. So all I would tell you is go down there, stay low profile. Do realize that if you decide to do that and take that risk, it is against the law.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are some law enforcement officers down there that would be a little bit more forgiving, and there are some law enforcement officers down there that would probably bury you under the jail. You have to realize there's a lot of LBL is such a conundrum. There's a lot of really sketchy human activity that takes place in the LBL. You can get onto the LBL groups on Facebook and see where people will post photos of occult activity that they ran across. Heather Mosier from Small Town Monsters uncovered some of that when she was doing LBL research, had some photos that she had found online.
We found some very strange stuff out there.
We found some strange stuff down there. And so there's that weird human activity. There's dangerous wildlife down there. There's the other stuff that's going on, but you can't carry a firearm. So I don't know, man. Like I said, but do be aware that when you get in, when we were down there last time, the sign on one side was down.
Yeah, which was weird. I was like, I don't think
that
changes the law.
And I heard a rumor that they were looking at possibly amending that law. And I just don't see it. I don't see the federal government, because again, that's under federal government purview. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So I don't see it happening. I'd be more surprised. I would be less surprised if they actually went not only are we keeping that law in place, but we're going to shut the shooting range down, and we're going to curtail hunting to a great degree.
Good night, Lady Wolf.
Good night, Lady Wolf. So, but anyway, thank you for that, and good luck down there.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's insanely interesting. It's a really cool place to explore. Just go have fun and just be careful. Watch out for yourself.
Yeah.
Anybody that you're with, you guys just be careful. Explore around and just keep your eyes out. There's a lot of different kinds of danger out there, but that's the same with everywhere. But there, it seems like there's a very strange amount of weird, varied danger out there.
Well, the other spot that there's a lot of that stuff going on is the Uwaris.
Absolutely.
The Uwaris in North Carolina, I can't believe that there's not more attention paid, but I believe that the Uwaris is a lot because of the human surrounding people that are there. You know what I'm saying? It's not a huge touristy area. There's outdoor activities that take place there, but those are people that you can't really stop somebody up in the outside of the Uwaris and go, hey, can I interview about Bigfoot? They're just gonna even if they've had experiences, they're just gonna get away from me. There's a ton of weirdness going on in the Uwaris. For those of you that are familiar with Julie Wrench, that's up there, she had some really interesting Bigfoot audio with David Ellis from the Olympic Project that she did a few interviews and shared some of that stuff.
One of the really good interviews is on Sasquatch Tracks. That's Micah Hank's show. If you haven't checked that out, they play a lot of really crazy audio. And I think that interview is one of their most in-depth where they do it together. And they also play all of these crazy tracks that Julie has captured out there at the Uwaris. Go on.
Well, she's captured some crazy stuff that's gone public. She shared some stuff that she hasn't put out publicly with us.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying audio. She had sent us the email, and it was weird because weird little things like this happen all the time. You're talking about how that other can sometimes affect electronic stuff. I was messaging with her right around the same time that Facebook put in that weird encrypted stuff.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't message with her anymore. And then she'd emailed me. We couldn't find the email. It had gone into spam folder. I think it's because there were attachments to it. She'd attached all these audio files. But finally I had to and I hadn't exchanged phone numbers with her. And so finally I deleted my messenger, got back in touch with her, found her email. And I'm sitting there listening to these audio clips. What was it?
And getting horrified.
15 audio clips?
Yeah.
I'm in the house. I'm in a neighborhood. We live in the town now. We don't live in the middle of the woods anymore. And I'm sitting there listening to these audio clips, and I'm just looking over my shoulder,
They're horrifying.
Horrifying. And I'm going, all right, the Uwari's got to get. I never recorded nothing like that in the LBL. I haven't heard anything like that recorded from the LBL.
No.
This stuff is bizarre.
The video that I forgot to mention, I'm releasing a video on Friday, guys. The video I'm releasing on Friday, we got a weird sound that sounds kind of akin to some of the recordings then.
Yeah, so it's.
I'm gonna sneeze. I know it.
You're gonna sneeze, so
my allergies are.
We moved from summer allergy season to fall allergy season. Now it's like ragweed or something like that going on.
I don't know what it is, but it's coming. I'm all right.
But anyway.
Sorry.
All right, let's see what's going else is here. Somebody had asked, a Centurion asked if black powder pistols are considered a firearm. I don't know. I know that it's a federal thing down there, so I just don't know. I mean, you saw us in our videos. We're packing machetes and bear spray and everything like that. So
they're stuffing powder as quick as I can.
Yeah, but anyway, but kind of go through and see what else we got. Brian Whitfield is from the future. He's in Australia. So wanted a knife check real quick. Our knives are courtesy of our buddy Denim Devil, who was down here with us last week. I have a Cold Steel Terminator, which for those of you out there that have seen Platoon, this is the push dagger that was on Barnes's body armor, Sergeant Barnes. So that's what he got me but because it's got a small grip to it, Jesse pretty much adopted it. So it's kind of a joint knife at this point, but that's what I got.
It's a family knife.
It's a family knife now. I got a cold
So
steel.
when you get Lana up in here, it comes with me. So this is my knife today. This is from my buddy Denim Devil. He was our house guest, like Joe mentioned, and brought us some cool knives. This one he had custom made for me, and the handle actually has that beautiful wrap, and in there is actual ray skin. Joe will have to tell you what the name of it is.
It is a shirimi.
Shirimi is the name of it.
That is the Japanese. They're not really demons. They're not really ghosts. Ghosts are what it translates
I
to.
put a picture of it.
But it is the butt eye demon. It has
The
an
demon,
eye
yes.
and it's butt. The shirimi. And as soon as he said it, I just went, "Good Lord!" All right, but.
Oh, my Google. Not shrimp. There it is.
Larry Sharp. Member for 9 months, man. Thank you, Larry. We got a few people out there that have been with us, ride or die from the beginning. And
Just because I have to, I'm going to show you guys what a shrimp
if you
is.
guys like what we're doing here and you like the investigations, think about possibly getting a membership, because we are going to be doing a lot of live streaming for members from areas that nobody else has ever live streamed from before.
Yep. And we're going to be doing that on a consistent basis. We're looking at every other week doing live investigations for members. And you also get quality content like this, the shirimi.
Japanese butt eye demon.
Look how horrified she is.
Wouldn't you be? So,
all right.
There you go. There you go.
I had to include it.
EDP's talking about Julie. Yeah, and Julie's an awesome lady. We've been
real cool lady.
Real cool lady. We hit it off with her pretty well.
Well, we're really looking forward
to, in the Bigfoot community, there's always, I don't know. I like Julie Rich. She's a cool lady.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to her about these audio, and I'm going, "Do you think that this is Bigfoot?" And she goes, "Some of it, but some of it, no." And I'm going, "All right, good," because some of this sounds like all of it was disturbing, but some of it was flat out horrifying. And I'm going, this ain't a big monkey. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is, but we're going to go up there, and we have amassed a really good array of audio equipment.
Yep, for our audio project.
So
I think that's going to be an amazing place to deploy.
We are going to ring that area in audio recorders, run them, and then we have got really good. We've upped our arsenal of audio like software. The clip that Jesse's getting ready to release, we caught some weird stuff right as we were getting out of the vehicle and getting ready to enter into the woods and hike in. We caught it. So we started running like just the camera with the shotgun mic immediately. And
we still got
bugs were going crazy.
Insane amount of bugs.
Insane amount of insects still. And you even hear me going, "I don't think we got that." But we were able to minimize the insects to a degree, and we couldn't have done this last year with just the free Audacity software and all that. But
for that clip of audio, when you guys watch the video on Friday, I do suggest headphones for that clip.
And do realize that the bugs are going to be there. If we completely wipe the bugs out, it's going to affect the screams that we heard.
Yeah.
So what we were able to do
is throw on some headphones, and we managed to clean it up, denoise it just a little bit. But they're in the distance. We're using the shotgun mic, but they're in the distance. We can hear them like crazy, but we got them with the shotgun mic. So for that segment, I do suggest headphones when you guys watch the video on Friday. I'll have a warning beforehand that it's suggested that you have headphones for that segment, because you want to hear these screams. These screams it's like I don't even know. It's like,
I don't know.
It's weird. It's very weird.
I do not know.
I'm excited for you guys to hear it.
But again, we were able to minimize it well enough to bring the screams up without. We can't get rid of the insect noise entirely. Again, it affects the sounds of the scream. You're no longer hearing that audio. You're hearing processed audio with the screams. But this way, put some headphones on for this section because it is wild.
Yeah.
So. All right, see what else we got.
Oh, I wanted to say, did you see this one? Cowboy 4572, member for 10 minutes. Thank you, Cowboy. He also said he was going to save his milestone chat, but you had me at Butt Eye Monster.
Got everybody at Butt Eye Monster. Thanks for being a member, my friend. So we appreciate it. So Stingray says, Svetlana, you say, I woke up to a message that Stingray had sent me at like 3 a.m. on Facebook. Some Russian girl YouTube video, you know what I'm saying, with plans for him to move to Russia. So yeah,
There you go.
we'll be waiting to wait for that international incident. That'll probably be what finally triggers the war, for God's sakes. Stingray going over there. Larry Sharp wants, what's a good machete to get? 2 routes on machetes.
So can I interrupt? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I was
go ahead.
being rude.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. So
Go
you say
ahead.
what you can say.
Oh, I was going to say, well, I really love Condor knives. Joe Flowers designs a lot of the knives for them. He actually lives in the jungle, and he designs machete that I like to carry, the Vipera, but that's a small machete. For my purposes, I love the Vipera. It's great for me. And Joe Flowers is great at designing machetes. Joe, you may speak.
I don't carry full-size machetes because, again, we've got to worry about weight and space, and I already have so much stuff strapped to me right now, and it's going to get worse if we do this freaking Starlink thing, or if we are able to use that mobile. So I was going to say Condor is good. They're a little heavier. For machetes are thin, keep in mind, they're thin edges. You know what I'm saying? You're going to damage a machete. Get a good South American cold steel machete. But I usually use, I think I actually got it over here right now. I thought I had it over here. Keep going, entertain people, baby.
Hello, everyone. I guess I could have talked about my machete. You can get my machete. Mine's over
I cannot
there.
get your machete right now. I
Oh.
can't even get my machete. So
We've got a machete problem right now that we can't access the machetes. Yeah, my Vipera machete, that's a Condor. It's a little thicker than most machetes are. So it's pretty stiff for a machete, but it's real small. It's nice and compact, and it will just hack through. A lot of machetes are real long and kind of bendy. That's what a lot of people in South America use primarily, is the longer, more bendy machetes, right?
yeah, because you want it to be long and bendy. So.
Yeah. Are you still looking? Success. There he is.
So, 2 things that I would recommend is, again, if you're going to carry a machete, do that. But I'll usually carry this on it's a Esse Hunglas, which was made for South American like drug interdiction, like police forces and military forces, and that is just as good. It is more durable. It's more expensive, but it's not as long as a machete, and it doesn't quite get into your way as much. But there's different types of machetes. You have it for like lighter foliage and then like heavier foliage.
Yeah.
If you're like in North America, you generally want something heavier and thicker. If you're dealing with like a lot of vines and everything like that, you want something fast and quick. So Michael's mother is laughing her ass off at the show. Hope you're enjoying it there, Michael's mother. So I can't believe haven't lost power yet.
Moondog thinks that you're going to murder Svetlana with a family knife.
No, I'll be safe as houses. Michael Russell, what's up, buddy? Huge coronal mass ejection. Coronal mass ejection on Sunday at the moment may upset a lot of your experiments with electronics. Awesome. I want to be
Interesting
out.
thought. Spectator Bob. Joe, that is a shirt. You want it to be long and bendy.
Good God. So Sunday is the autumn equinox as well.
Yeah.
So.
Boy, that snuck up on us, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
At 8:43 a.m. So we will need to be out Saturday night into the morning.
Yeah.
So that'll work out perfectly.
Yes, it will.
So we will be out. We're going into a high energy area. There's 3 different spots we're kind of mulling over right now. So we are going to we're going to kind of figure out where we're going to be at.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a members live stream in the middle of all of it, and then pack that away, and then go back to just the regular investigation that we'll film and then share subsequently.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got a spot in my mind that I think we're gonna do.
Yeah,
So,
but this should be our first remote members live investigation with the new equipment. So
yeah. So
perfect time to do it.
perfect
when we
time to
have
do
the
it, so.
Equinox, isn't it? That's a good
Yep.
way to debut that equipment, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So let's see what else we
I'm
got.
excited. Excited.
I love like the fall equinox is like the biggest, like it's just the most interesting. I mean, there's interesting times of the year.
Yeah.
There's like Walpurgisnacht, May Day, the end of April going into May. There's Halloween, obviously, but the fall equinox was always the Persephone, the myth of Persephone going into the underworld and all of that. Just always just fascinated me. Do you know what I'm saying? And how our ancestors just knew that there was just something about this time of the year going into it, that the fall and into the winter and all that is just like the most, for me at least, the most charged part of the year.
Yeah.
So we're in for not a lot of sleep and a lot of cool stuff
I'm excited.
going on over the next couple months. This is.
I am certainly excited.
Yes. So, and I'm way back. I'm just way back into the machete talk right now. We got all sorts of stuff going on. Coronal mass ejections, meteors.
Yeah, the meteor. I was going to put that up there. Richard Sharp said, by chance musical instruments, say a harmonica, try blowing one of them out cryptic hunting. Trust the pitch range to draw in a curious
We have a shofar that Suji gave us that we took out one night, and Suji wasn't on the stream. Suji, of course, we didn't announce it. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. So we're going to do that, but we want her to be present since she gave it to us.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on a live stream live. So if anything happens, we have witnesses to it. And we want her to be there to kind of witness it live in real time. So we are eventually going to do that. So,
yeah.
So
we have a full moon tomorrow night. Man, the moon was insane while we were doing those test streams last night. For members, the moon was just absolutely insane. It's going to be kind of a wild few days coming up, right?
Yep.
You got that kind of feeling, that that excitement, that energy in the air.
Yeah, it's I don't know. This is like a big weekend for us. It's there's so much folklore and tradition and superstition and everything with the fall equinox.
Yeah.
The spring equinox to me, now that carries a lot of stuff with like the fairy folklore, the fae, that has to me, the spring is like when kind of the end of the hurrah. It's when things are getting more normal. But the fall equinox is when things are starting to, this is the beginning of like, the season of wither. This is like when darker forces and, the supernatural is kind of enhanced and strengthened. And that's what we're looking to document. Yeah. So that's what we're looking for. So,
Alan Howell, thank you for that. Alan, live stream looks great.
Thank you for that, Alan.
Did you just get that off of there?
I did get that. I was trying to click on it at the same time you did. So thank you, Alan. Greatly appreciate it. So, but yeah, we've got an area that I am looking at right now.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. We're going to have that video premiere on Friday. We're doing that video premiere.
We'll be leaving Friday night after that.
Yeah. So we'll do the video premiere, and then we'll be taking off, and we'll be heading out into the woods after we get done with that.
Thank you for that Dead End Yard Hunt.
Thank you, Dead End.
Dogman chow.
I'll be filling my pockets with Vienna sausages and heading off into the woods. But yeah, we're doing a premiere for a video Friday. I don't know what time we've decided on yet.
Got a celebrity in the house, Central Florida Bigfoot.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, I should have worn my fancy T-shirt. What's up, buddy?
Did they close the Polo Club early?
See that mansion he's building? For God's sakes! Good Lord,
is it next to David Pilates?
It probably is. So, Ristel wants to know, how heavy, large is the Starlink setup? It's gotten pretty damn heavy. as everything else that I ever tried to do, nothing's ever freaking easy. Nothing's ever easy. Nothing ever just works the right way.
Nope.
Nothing's ever how I drew it up. With all of the additional components, let me put it to you like this: just getting these things are still made to plug into like AC power, like plug into a wall outlet. Of course, most people are plugging them to like the wall outlet of like an RV or something like that. But I've got tons of battery backups, battery charging bricks, everything like that, because we have to keep stuff charged in the field. And I've said in the past, this is how you know whether people do this stuff or not. How do they keep stuff going in the field? I've probably got 20 different charging bricks of various power supply, power capacities and weights and all of that. None of them gave the power I needed for this. So I had to start looking at other things. So now that was something we had to kind of like figure out. There are other things that we need with it that you'll see this weekend that, we're able to stream. When we stream, you'll see it. It's grown on this to be able to get a consistent signal. So it's heavy. And that's the thing, is that if I bring that, it's going to cut back on other stuff that we carry. So it's ended up being a lot more than what I looked at. So let's see what else we got here, because we're getting into the dang.
We're getting into the late evening here. We're
gonna be wrapping it up for too long, because I think we've gotten lucky with the weather here so far.
Yeah,
Everybody
right now.
is in the path.
I'm gonna go ahead and do last call, just because we're gonna be in the last, because the weather is getting really bad. If you guys have anything else you want to talk about or anything, let's think about this. Let's put this out there, and we'll get going on that.
Daniel Thomas is back. He's having a day like me. Phone got ran over several times. Debit card canceled, but he's back. Welcome back, my friend.
Welcome back, Daniel.
So, but yeah, so the Starlink thing. Here's the deal, though, man. I think it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. Not only, it's cool as hell. It's going to be entertaining as all get out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can go within reason. We can get like a clear enough view of the sky. We can go from like anywhere. So we'll be able to do, when the LBL calms down, we'll be able to do live streams from deep within the LBL that there's no phone signal down there. Nobody's ever streamed from before.
Yep.
Mountains of North Georgia, going into Western North Carolina.
The Uwari.
The Uwari.
That's what I'm looking for.
We're wanting to go into the Bridgewater Triangle next year. We'll be able to live stream from there. So there are cemeteries on islands in South Carolina and some of these lakes that were made down here that we've always gone. It'd be so cool to go there.
But we want to get somebody to drop us off,
By
so we
boat,
have no way to
pick us up the next day. So
yeah.
There's so many cool. So just for the sheer cool as hell factor, it's awesome. You know what I'm saying? But like we talked about before, the fact that we will be there in the moment with people watching, and their attention, their emotional input, everything like that. What effect is that going to have? Is that going to be cool? Will things let us catch a glimpse of them then to a slightly larger? I don't know, man. It's just the sky's the limit with this stuff, but it's cool as all get out. So
oof, here. That ain't good.
Apophis is coming warmer than.
I
I was reading about the Nemesis star the other day. So,
is there like a margarita star, or like a birthday cake star?
it's all bad,
It's
man.
all
It's all bad. It's always bad. It's always bad. So JD was talking about the LBL. Thought they changed it. You could carry. I don't. You know what? You might be right.
We've not been up there since
Small Town Monsters.
Yeah, since November.
Like I said, we're getting a lot of invites to come up, but right now, there's just too much attention on the Land Between the Lakes.
We're just so busy with all of our research areas, we can't make it up there right now.
According to the Land Between the Lakes website, all firearms, air guns, crossbows, bows and arrows, and any other weapon are prohibited unless authorized by specific hunting regulations.
There you go.
So if that has changed, that has not hit their website yet. So, and to be quite honest with you, I don't see it changing. I just don't see it changing. I just don't see, given the conversations that I have had with people who are involved with law enforcement there, I don't see that changing. It ain't their call.
Yeah.
Okay. But I just don't see it changing officially. So, all right.
Chris says the same people who say you can't carry in the LBL are the ones saying that Dogman, there aren't any dogmen there. But I would go with the official website. And I would not listen to, because that's a federal crime. So let's just go with that.
I'm just gonna tell you, I've had people also tell me
All kinds
that
of
they
stuff.
carry down there.
Yeah.
I know that people carry down there on
Mhm.
camera. And again, but I'm just telling you right now, the law is what the law is. And I don't want to go to federal prison. I am too good looking of a man to go to federal prison.
You'd be okay.
They'll be all right, but I just got to understand they'd mob me
I'll
as soon as I walk in.
I'll buy you a nice sock.
So
That's for Lenny.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, we're gonna be setting it up. So
I'm super excited about this weekend. We got a lot to do. We'll have a video premiere on Friday for you guys. You guys can check that out. You can check that. Sorry, I was reading some of
yeah,
the
exactly.
chats.
So
But you guys can check that out on Friday. That's going to be awesome. We'll be in the chat. We'll do a live premiere for that. Joe and I will both be in the chat for that on Friday.
Martin popped in, or has been here all along and been quiet. The law has not changed. If you carry at your own risk, you cannot legally carry at the LBL. Risk being banned in all Bureau of Land Management areas.
There you go.
And again, like let's just say this right now. Let's just say that, let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that there's nothing weird in the LBL at all. Nothing. It's the most normal place on the planet.
Yes.
Nothing weird in the slightest. There are multiple documentaries about it. There's documentaries coming out about it. It's all over YouTube. It's all over podcasts. There are people going into the welcome station going, what about the Dogman? Have you guys heard anything about the Dogman? And the people that work there are aware of this attention.
Yeah.
And they're aware that
there are documentaries, that there are groups.
People
that,
have been popped in the past and fined for taking paid organizations in there.
Yeah.
And that's going on right now. So be aware that maybe a year ago,
the H is O right now.
Yeah, the heat is on right now.
The heat is on right now.
So that officer that you run into a year ago may not have really been too much on it, but right now might know that there's a bunch of weird people with weird interests running around the LBL, and a lot of them are going armed. So just be aware of that. Take that at your own risk. I don't want to see anybody run afoul of it. There's been some real in your face behavior down there. There's a lot of people doing stuff. So just be aware that you don't want to be the one that they decide to make an example of. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Let them arrest you. Okay. All right. Great advice here from the Peanut Gallery.
What was that?
Just let them arrest you. Law up.
Let them arrest you. Law up. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. So. That's a hard no from me.
That's a hard no from me. So
Martin Groves, the heat is on. Amen. My lantern, my Vienna sausages, and me.
Our boy Not Today's in here today. So Not Today's talking about the binary system, and our sun is sharing an orbit with a brown dwarf. That's the Nemesis star that I was actually just doing some research on earlier on. So all right, guys. If nobody's got anything else, I've caught up with the chat. Sorry we were all over the place tonight. I will come better prepared next week. But I
think that was great.
I think I did a pretty decent job.
You did a great job.
But
we're working on a few projects right now. Okay.
Yeah, we were, like I said, when I say we were out pretty much constantly with this, we did run home and grab some spare parts that I've just accumulated, and we're able to kind of get the mobile link up unit just working better. We've got some parts being 3D printed for us right now that I was hoping we were going to get in this week. It's probably going to be next week.
We'll see what happens.
We hit some hitches with it, but yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. Make sure that your notifications are on, And
Yep. And if you're a member, you will get we're aiming to do our first official live stream Saturday.
yeah,
From a remote area. So we're super excited. So members, keep your notifications on for that. We're going to try to deploy for the first official remote live stream. I'm so excited. You have no idea. This is really the kickoff of our autumn season.
It's going to get weird.
The season of wither, as you like to say.
Season of wither.
But yeah, thank you guys for joining us for the show tonight. As always, we have a blast doing this. Turn your notifications on. Keep an eye out for Friday. We will be premiering a video on Friday. Joe and I will be in the chat for that, so make sure you turn up for that one. It'll be Friday evening, and then Joe and I are going to be heading into the woods and gonna go see what we can make go bump in the night. How's that sound?
We're gonna bump. We're gonna bump back.
We're gonna bump back, kid. I love that. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. You guys have a great night. Have a great week. Enjoy the weather if you have good weather where you're at, because it's starting to actually cool down over here, even though it's going to rain worse than it is now. But we really appreciate you guys for joining us. And I'm going to send you guys out on some funky vampire music here. Let's see what we can find that looks good. Ooh, here. This is upbeat. We'll love it. Thank you guys so much. We love you. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.